Now we're going to introduce using the splitting tools. These are some of the tools that maybe could be perceived as slightly more high risk. It's only going to be high risk if you don't use them properly. They are safe to use, but we do need to think about when we're introducing these type of tools into our programs. This would come when the children are experienced, that they've had that introduction to some of the other tools, and they're ready then for a bit of an extra challenge, and they want to use the splitting tools to create something. So obviously with all of the tools at Forest School, we're making sure that there is a reason for using them, and that reason would be to create a project, to do something, to make something, okay, but we're always using them for a purpose. We have two different splitting tools that we use. The first one is a bill hook. You'll notice that the bill hook is wrapped up in a scarf to keep the blade safe. And the second one is an axe, a splitting axe or a hatchet. And that has a leather sheath. So you'll have different axes and different bill hooks which will have different coverings, but the key thing is to make sure that your blade is always covered when the tool is stored away. We'll start with the axe. I'm going to take the blade cover off carefully, and we're going to put that somewhere where we can remember where it is, because these get lost very easily. And you can notice that obviously it's a very sharp blade. We don't touch the blade. We're going to keep our hand on the handle, and we're going to always have the blade pointing down. So when we're moving around with this tool, the blade should be covered and the blade should be pointing down. So we'd have the blade cover on, pointing down in the tool bag as soon as we can. We don't swing the axes at Forest School. We tend to avoid that because that's again a slightly more high risk type of activity. What we do is we're going to use this to split this piece of hazel into half, and we're going to hold the axe still. So you can see that I'm splitting the hazel right down through the middle. So I'm going to just get that balance there in the middle before I strike the back of the axe. There's a couple of key things to remember here. You can notice that the axe is at a 90-degree angle from my body. And what that means is as I split the hazel, the axe is going to go away from my body. If we had it towards us like this and the axe suddenly went through, it could end up in your leg. So you always want to have that 90-degree angle so that it's swinging away from you. The other thing to remember is the control. So working distance away around your working area, and lots of control. So we're going to tap the axe very gently, not too hard initially, just so it beds into the piece of wood that we're using. You can see it starting to make a split. Now there is another way of doing this where you're working with a partner, and the partner would stand opposite on the other side of the log. The partner would have the mallet, but I would be in control of the blade. So I'm holding the axe, so I would be telling my partner when to hit and how hard to hit. And that is a different technique. It's something that works quite well between an adult and a child. The child could have the mallet. I'm going to inform them when to hit and how hard to hit, and really maintain that communication, because it's really important that no one's going to hit the axe while somebody else's fingers are underneath. So when you're ready, gentle tap. You notice that there's no gloves because both hands are working hands, and then all the way through. So we've just then split that into two equal halves, and you could keep going. You could split it further into quarters or into eighths for various different projects that you might be carrying out. As soon as we've finished with the axe, we are going to put the cover on, make sure that that sharp blade is covered, and then that's going to go back in our tool bag as quickly as we can. The next splitting tool that we'll introduce is the bill hook. Now, bill hooks are not really designed for splitting. We use them at Forest School because they can be effective, they can be helpful. Really, they're designed for hedging and coppicing. So you'll notice that there's quite a long, sharp blade with a wooden handle. We use them in exactly the same way as the axe. So we're going to hold it 90 degrees from our body, and we're going to tap the back of the blade until it splits the piece of hazel in half. Again, we don't need any gloves because both hands are holding a tool, so both hands are working hands. And then making sure that our knees are out of the way. I'm going to crouch down for this one because it's slightly easier at this level. Make sure that blade is 90 degrees so that when it does go, it's going to go away from you. And again, just gentle taps. The advantage of using the bill hook rather than the axe is that if it gets stuck, you can tap the end of the hook just to drive it down all the way through. And when you're finished, again, you should be covering the blades, making sure that they're not exposed in your tool bag. And you can safely put that away for the next person. So those are two of the ways that we split wood at Forest School. As I mentioned, this is something that we introduce later on, usually in the programme of sessions, when the children are ready, and it's something that you need to take real care about so that we're making sure we're doing it in a safe way.